we want to demonstrate an unbelievable, interesting Jesus-Satan connection. First, why did Justin Martyr, a prominent church father in AD 150, in his book Acts of John, describe Jesus Christ as encountering his followers in many different guises, not especially a human one, but a human with a falcon head, similar to the god Horesu. We are aware of the fact that when we speak of Jesus Christ, his origin is an African myth that was borrowed and crafted during the time of the colonization of Africa by the Greeks, and then promoted and romanticized through Romanization of our ancient African belief system of ancestor worship of Apis, as well as our Sarishe, where we have Nzombe Yomumusha, Inkunzi Yimzin, a bull that represents the ancestors that is found amongst the Africans, crawls in all of Africa. Then through a number of church creeds and synods, Jesus was crafted. And the ancestor for Christians is Ptolemy the Savior, who is their ancestor. And from our trinity of Ausarije, Isisu and Horesu, that's where you get Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. These are unbelievable, interesting connections. But we want to look at those that connect Jesus with Satan. Now, this topic is very, very interesting. And I would advise that if you're a Christian, a Muslim, and a Jew, and your life vibrates with your belief in Jesus, please, you should not watch this video. The divinity Busa, so-called Besha, gave the Christians the devil's looks. The African Pantheon of divinities became a fertile ground for Christian writers to fashion another divinity, Satan the devil. Coming from Set, Shata, later Satan, the son of Guvu, earth, and Nute, the heavens or sky, was the brother of Ausari, was the god of the desert, foreign lands, thunderstorm, eclipses, and earthquakes. Those are his works. Set was a powerful and often frightening deity. He battled Horesu, which is a famous battle found in the New Testament of Satan and Jesus. Do Christians know these historical realities? What is the reason Jesus and Satan are all referred to as morning star? In Revelation 22:16, Jesus calls himself morning star. In Isaiah 14:12, Satan is said, "Oh, you have fallen from heaven, morning star." In the original Hebrew Old Testament, Lucifer is called Halel, meaning shining one. Similarly, a direct translation of Lucifer from Latin into English gives us the phrase light bearer or light bringer. This notion of light bringing is a reference to Lucifer's depiction as the planet Venus. Lucifer was actually planet Venus. All that he fell from heaven has to do with the morning star Venus that is described before dawn. The word Lucifer, to take it further, in the Latin Vulgate, which translates it as Lucifer, means morning star, the planet Venus, or as an adjective, light bringing. In the Septuagint and in the Greek, it's given as Heiosphorus, a name literally bringer of dawn, for the morning star. And that's where you are being deceived, because in 2 Peter 1:19, you are advised that you have to believe the word of the prophets and pay attention to it as to a light shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts. That's deception. because it is strange that you want a star instead of the sun. Wouldn't you go for the biggest light and ignore the tiny little wannabe sun, Venus, Lucifer? In Africa, in our traditions, our great sages and teachers, and in our mysteries, we have hymns, countless hymns, praising the god Ra or Re or Re, the sun, as the divine power who opens up our day with blessings and energy. Like on the 21st of March, we are going to celebrate his coming back again and giving us more hydrogen, more energy, as taught by our sages. Nkulu Singizi is teaching that today Ra is the great light who shines in the heavens. Thou art glorious by reason of thy splendors, greater than Jesus and Lucifer combined. Think about that. Do not be deceived. Christianity is a Roman-made religion used to suck your energy through fear and the promise of heaven and a stick for hell. The term morning star, used throughout the New Testament as reference to Jesus, proves that humans created Jesus and Luciferic doctrines. Lucifer, a former Latin name referring to the planet Venus and associated with the falling of the morning star from heaven, is found written in Luke 10:18 as I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. That's Venus. Keep this fact in mind, because the Hebrew translation of the same word Hallel in the place of Lucifer was done by Saint Jerome, who replaced the word Hallel with Lucifer. What does Hallel mean, and why did they translate it for Lucifer? Because if Jesus and Lucifer are the same entity, then all that followed in the New Testament would be the work of a deceiver. There is deception. We've already shown you the first deception is to want to have a star instead of the sun, to avoid Ra and go for some small little star. The word transliterated Hallel or Hallel refers in the apocryphal Enochian Jewish tradition to rebellious fallen angels, the Watchers. And even in numerology and gematria, the value of the names Lucifer and Jesus are exactly the same. This is why both Jesus and Satan are referred to as the morning star. They represent a composite, now separated watcher or divinity. In the original, according to our ancestors and our sages, the likes of the god Bes and Set were known as inherent powers, personifying what was already inside every human being and around in the environment before this doctrine fell into the hands of the disciples and the Catholic Church that created Christianity. Every Christian is a Catholic, where it is now split into two different externalized forces that are competing and fighting against each other, Jesus or Satan. If Jesus and Lucifer are the same entity, then all that followed in the New Testament would be the work of a deceiver. Another deceiver has been shown there. The watcher issue appears in Daniel 4:13. This watcher came from the heavens and started to explain to the king his visions. Jesus is referred to as the lion of the tribe of Judah. Satan is also referred to as a roaring lion seeking for whom he could devour. The point in saying this and comparison of this is that both Jesus and Satan, to an extent, have similarities of a lion. They are the same. In 2 Corinthians 11:14, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. The true Lucifer is Satan himself. Elohim means the shining ones. It's used in the Quran as Allah or Ella. It's also used in Genesis 1. In verse 20, Genesis 1, verse 26, it's plural, is shown. In 6:2, the sons of these shining ones are depicted there. So this is the reason why Jesus and Satan are referred to as the morning star. Jesus and Lucifer are a single being. Right. The emphasis now why it is separate is due to the teaching propagated and propelled by Christian teachers and the thinkers and the poets, especially the 17th century poet John Milton popularized this Satan called Lucifer in his epic poem Paradise Lost. Know then that after Lucifer from heaven so called him, brighter once amidst the host of angels than that star the stars among, fell with his flaming legions through the deep into his place, and the great sun returned victorious with his saints. False teachers and confused religious literature like this used Milton's poem as source of Satan's fall, filling fear in the minds of people. In the Doctrines and Covenant of the Mormons, the writer wrote, and was called perdition, for the heavens wept over him. He was Lucifer, a son of the morning, and we beheld, and lo, he is fallen, even a son of the morning. See, same star. Now, here is a question that we need as we look into these similarities today about what's happening in the world with these vaccines. We need to do a fact check. Are you going to get the shot called Luciferase with a patent number 060606 and a digital program called Inferno? So look at this Luciferase and study it. So is this mere coincidence that it's connected with the religion, it's connected with Lucifer, it's connected with Christ? It would also prove that Christianity is a Luciferian cult. It also speaks of Satan. They cast the devil, and they are also fighting the devil every minute of their existence. They bind the devil. When we consider what Rome did when it took over this cult and molded it through the Dark Ages, the Crusades, the Inquisition, and countless other evils, what can be attributed to this idea that Jesus and Lucifer may actually be one created concept empowered by traditional Christianity through rituals? Finally, why did Jesus go back to heaven, leaving Satan on the throne? Because Satan is the god of this world. Satan still owns this earth. Maybe Satan created even this third dimension, this cosmos. This will be the unbelievable, interesting Jesus-Satan connection. But we want to show its historical origins. Seth had white skin, fiery red hair, and a very bad complexion. Animals sacred to Seth were red and had red furs and skin like donkeys, red donkeys. Sacrifices of these animals are found in his rituals, along with human sacrifices of people with white skin and red hair like this. You know, like the Western white Jesus Christ. They were sacrificed there. Think about this and digest this a little bit. Anything colored red is sacred to this concept. Like the planet Mars, the Coptic Church in Kemet has red as the sacred color of Christ. Seth also is sometimes depicted with two heads, meaning that it's one entity with two characteristics, like the emotions of a person with a split mentality. This is very interesting. The ancient Cometians used this word QRST for burial. Christianity spells this word Christ. So that is being buried. One thing is being buried in the other. Christ was buried in the tomb or in the womb. The Greek gives the definition of anointed. Mummies were also anointed. That's the anointing that makes them holy. That's the essence, that's the force, that's the power they get. Rituals, libations, to the archons or the watchers, the hidden rulers throughout the ages, loves these rituals. This is unbelievable, interesting Jesus-Satan connection. More proof about that. In Africa, in a place called Nag Hammad now, there was a library there that was discovered depicting what is known as Gnosticism, a Hellenistic mystery religion that borrowed from our ancient ancestral belief system, because Gnosticism gave us this divinity called Yaldabaoth, which they pointed out as the real creator of this cosmos, as the real creator, not the real creator, the unseen and the invisible, as well as the no spirit, no being one. Yaldabaoth in India, Yaldabaoth in Africa, Yaldabaoth in Persia, in Judea, and in Tibet or Tibet. Yaldabaoth created the cosmos. Yaldabaoth assigns 7 of his archons, watchers, to rule over the 7 planetary spheres, then creates the earth and decides to populate it. His angels created Adam. Gnosticism and this tenet teaches that Sophia named her offspring Yaldabaoth Yahweh, Lord of the Sabbath. He was the God of the Old Testament. Yaldabaoth uses his divine power to create lesser divine beings, archons, the evil forces of the world, the evil material world, this world we live in. He is the damage or maker or craftsman. Yaldabaoth is ignorant of the pleroma and foolishly declares that he is the only God. In Isaiah 45 says, I am God and there is no other God besides me. That's a boast. But we know there are many gods. Even the New Testament, even the Old Testament says Elohim or gods. It's plural. Now, to learn more about this issue of Yaldabaoth and about these rituals, you can defeat and conquer them and achieve your purpose, your natural purpose. You can start by sending us an email on john@marifado, because we offer a 14 module video-based course known as Bantu Foundations. It teaches a lot about African spirituality as the basis for every melanin dominant human being to survive this earth, the spirit soul of the earth. So you can send us an email to enroll. This is Preacher Rabbi LM is saying subscribe to our channel, Hamid Iburu Ethics. Till we meet again, beware of being engaged in the ignorance of Yaldabaoth and not knowing the similarities and the interesting coincidence and sameness of the forces that are ruling and ruining this earth.